Good morning to all. I am Adoor Shift I, standing before you to present a puppet show of the story Pinocchio. The characters of this story are Geppetto. Geppetto? Yes, I am here. Then Pinocchio and a blue fairy. Without much delay, we can start the story. Pinocchio. Geppetto. I am Geppetto. I'm Geppetto. I'm a carpenter. I made so many books. Good morning, everyone. I am Nazreen Fatima, here before you to present a book. The name of the book is I Fell in Love with Home. The author of the book is Lancelot. This book is an exploration of all the humanly things that we have all done: sin, love, illness, and all the in-between moments. This book shows us a story of 5 teenagers full of determination to live. They are all bonded with a chronic disease. In the hospital, they are all together. In this, there are 5 characters. They are C, Neo, Sony, Hikari, and Sam. Of the book. Then this is a hospital room. I did this drawing because in this book they start their life at the hospital room and end also their life at the hospital room. They create a lot of memory in a hospital room. That's why the hospital room is one of the main key factors in this entire book. Then these are some of the diseases. The three of the characters who passed away, their diseases. Sclerosis, which was Neo's disease. The definition is given here, and I showed books as if you want to remember him. Books were the factors that made people remind him. Then we have C, who had cardiovascular disease. These are disorders of heart and blood vessels. And this jacket is the one that made everyone think of him, as he was a top athlete in the school. He always wore a jacket, so that jacket was something that made people remind of him. Then Sony, who had half a lung. It was due to a trauma the lung was taken from her, and the cat is there to represent her. When she was still alive, she adopted this cat. It had no legs or only one ear. This also is a factor that even if she had a half the organ, but she still lived happy. So she wanted the cat to also live a happy life. So she took it home with her to the hospital room. That's what represents the cat. As if you want to remind of Sony, you can take a look at the cat. And at the end, I wanted to show you some songs that you can listen. Reading to books. The Diary of a Young Girl, also known as Diary of Anne Frank, is a book of the writings from the Dutch language diary kept by Anne Frank while she was hiding for 2 years with her parents and family during the Nazi occupation of the Netherlands. This diary received widespread critical and popular attention on the appearance of its English language translations Anne Frank. So now coming to the topic, that is the Diary of the Young Girl. So here it was explaining about her 13th birthday party that she had celebrated in a very intrude way or different way. So on June 12, 1942, Anne Frank celebrated her birthday with a birthday gift that was given by her father, Otto. And that was very much exciting for her to write about her impressions and expressions that comes throughout her life. And she did in a very...
Good morning. So today we are going to focus on the book Attack on Titan. It is a Japanese manga by Isayama. So it focuses on the story of 3 children. There are 3 giant 50-meter walls called Wall Maria, Wall Rose and Wall Sina. This story takes place in the year 845. 100 years ago, some giant humanoid creatures called Titans emerged out of nowhere. They nearly drove humans to extinction. They are the only natural predators of humans. They were a huge threat to humans, and fearing them, the humans moved into these walls. They thought that everything was okay, but then disaster struck. The story revolves around Eren Yeager, who is the main character of the manga. He has an adopted sister called Mikasa, and they have a best friend called Armin. Eren's father's name is Grisha, and his mother's name is Kana. So, they live in the Shiganshina district of Old Maria, which is the outermost part of the world. One day, no, they are all very interested in knowing what lies beyond the walls, and what are the secrets that they were not exposed to in their lives.
Very warm good morning to one and all present here. We, the group Charlotte Webs, we the members Dia, Abia, Diti and Shweta are present here to express the summary of the story, The Charlotte Web, written by E.B. White through a puppet show. So let's get started. Once upon a time, there lived a small girl called as Fawn, and she had a piglet as her pet. Both of them were besties. The piglet and the girl grew together, and the piglet grew to a big pig. But unfortunately, her parents found it difficult to raise the pig. So, her parents decided to sell the pig to her uncle Suckerman, who was a farmer. Suckerman decided to buy the pig. But the poor Fern found it difficult to stay away from his bestie. And similarly, the pig also found it difficult to get adapted to the new situations and environment.
At Suckerman's farm, Bilbo was bullied by all the other animals. But in the midst of this, he found a happy place, a shadow of happiness through a spider, Charlotte, a barn spider. She lived above his cave. One day, Bilbo eavesdropped a conversation between Sucker members' family, and Bilbo found out that he was soon going to be slaughtered for the Christmas dinner. He was very terrified to hear this news. So he went back to his cave and shared this terrible information to Charlotte. Charlotte decided to help her friend.
At the Christmas Eve, Suckerman was about to close the farm, and he noticed some weird messages were appearing on the spider webs. Some fakes of class 9A are going to put up a puppet show. The story is Alice in Wonderland. The author of the story is Lewis Carroll. One day, Alice and her sister were sitting below a tree while her sister was reading a story to her. It's getting boring, Dina. What do you mean? This story does not have any pictures, so I feel it's boring. No way! There are so many amazing books in this world which does not contain any pictures. It would be interesting for a bookworm like you, but not me. Now stop saying nonsense and listen to the story. Look! A rabbit! So, haven't you seen a rabbit before? Idiot! Watch it closely. Oh no! It ran away. I'll come in a minute. Alice! Get back here! Wait, my god, this girl!
Suddenly, she saw a white rabbit scamper by. He had pink eyes and was wearing a blue-red coat. He took out a big watch from his waistcoat pocket and asked her away. He said,
Oh no! I'm late! I'm very, very late. Alice was surprised and said, Hey, wait there. She thought that there was something very different about this rabbit. It could talk, it wore a red waistcoat, and it carried a watch. Alice wondered, a talking rabbit? A rabbit who wears a red waistcoat?
Alice was burning with curiosity and she followed the white rabbit. The rabbit started running and Alice followed the rabbit. The rabbit suddenly
down a large rabbit hole. Alice jumped into the rabbit hole. The rabbit went down, down, and down. Alice said, is going to present a shadow puppet show in the story of the five sisters, which is a fairy tale from Uzbekistan and was rewritten by Miran Thomas. Once upon a time, in the capital city of far-off eastern land, lived five sisters. They were all very beautiful and very rich. Their parents died early but left them with a great deal of money. They owned a grand house with a garden filled with flowers of various kinds. And there was a grey area with couches of red velvet for guests and pond of sparkling water. The cushions were of red velvet too, trimmed with gold. At the back, there was many trees too with fruits. The first and the oldest sister's name was Mutbalkon, who was 22 and had a beautiful face with long ivory colored hair. The second sister was Karmat Kaur, who was beautiful as well and had dark hair. And the third sister's name was Mukaram Kaur, and she was as good as looking as the first two. And the fourth and fifth sisters lived separate lives and lived with their aunt, and was named Adolat Kaur and Salamat Kaur. They were also very beautiful. One day, Karamat Kaur went shopping and came back, and the porter helped her. So he handed him a gold coin and said, "Thank you." The porter was in disbelief. He never received so much money before, and said, "Thank you." There came Mutabakon and said, "How much have we paid this porter, sister?" "One gold piece." "Not enough," and handed him a second gold piece. The porter was still in disbelief. The porter said, "Thank you so much for this." Mutabakon said, "You must be tired, my good man. Please go sit in the garden and we will serve you some food." The porter was so happy that he was served with delicious dishes from a golden plate. After he finished, the porter went away, blessing the sisters. Soon there was a knock and Karamat Khan opened their doors, but the problem was they were blind. The first blind man said, Good sister, good sister, you have traveled a long distance and are very tired. May we come and rest in your garden for a while?" "Yes, sister." "Yes, sister," said the second blind man. "We are also hungry. Shall we be most grateful if you give us something to eat?" said the second blind man. "Yes, sister, we shall also be grateful if you would permit us to spend the night in your house, as we have nowhere else to stay in this strange place." Karamat Khan felt sorry and said, just a minute. You are most welcome to partake our hospitality. But I will have to ask my elder sister's permission first." "Welcome. You may most